And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, and once again, it's great to have you guys here on this Thursday. We have a lot to talk about on today's show, as we normally do, but before I get into that, I just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate, become part of the show, get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link, that is streamelements.com/GSMC/sportsnetwork./tip. Again, it's a great way to make the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, the link is streamelements.com/GSMCsportsnetwork./tip. All right, so with that, let's get into what we will discuss today. So we'll go through the current standings to start off the show, where everything is at this current moment in time. Going into Week 10, obviously we have a game tonight between the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. And, we will preview that at the end of the show. But in between that, we will talk about the latest Bill Belichick rumors and why if the Patriots lose, he could possibly be let go, which I don't see happening. But we will talk about that. And then the third part of the show, we'll talk about the QB situation for both New York teams, both the Jets and the Giants, because they are not coming off of good games, for two different reasons. So we'll get into that, and then, like I said, we'll preview tonight's game to end off the show. So with that, let's get right into the first topic, which is discussing the current standings and where everything is at this current moment in time. So we'll start with the AFC. So right now in the AFC, you currently have the Dolphins, who are 6-3, leading the Bills by a game. Bills are 5-4. They've now dropped. They've dropped 3 of their last 5 games after starting off the season 3-1. They're now 5-4. They could have easily lost to the Giants, if it wasn't for the missed call at the end of the game. The Bucks, the Bucks had their chances. They didn't blow out the Bucks by any means. But it's not looking good right now for the Bills. You got the Patriots are 2-7, and then you got the Jets, who are 4-4 on the season. Listen, it's going to come down to probably the Dolphins and the Bills for the division. Might come down to the last game of the regular season. Who knows? Buffalo really hasn't been playing well as of late. But also you look at the Dolphins and, like we talked about a couple days ago, about them, being frauds possibly, because they haven't beaten any good teams on their schedule. So I don't know. Listen, people are calling them frauds. I don't want to say they're frauds, but that definitely categorizes them as maybe being frauds. But I still think they're a very good team. Then you go to the AFC North, and that division is it's insane. Every team is over 500. Ravens are 7-2. Everybody else is 5-3. And the Ravens, they actually have the best point differential in the NFL. I actually forgot to mention that. Let's see if I still have the stat from that. Yeah, so they have a plus 115 point differential, which is the best in the NFL. No other team in the NFL has a different differential better than plus 80. That's something that CBS Sports posted. This team has been dominating playoff teams in the NFC. Really, they blew out the Lions a couple weeks ago. And then they just blew out Seattle. And those are two teams that are going to make the playoffs. But for some reason, they can only beat the Cardinals by 7. But again, that's just me being salty from not winning my week in my spread pool still. But now they got a game against the Browns, who have a good defense. Ravens are at home for this game. So we'll see what happens. We'll go over it tomorrow. But look, the Ravens look like one of the best teams in the NFL. You can't say they don't. And this is with Lamar Jackson not even passing for 200 yards. The running game, Gus Edwards continues to get into the end zone, and also you had Keaton Mitchell, who had a big game as well. So like the Ravens, they continue to roll. They could beat anybody. So they're at 7-2. Bengals, Browns, and Steelers all 5-3. I think that's going to change. I think the Bengals ultimately are going to have a better record than the Browns and the Steelers. And you know what? We're actually next Thursday is going to be Bengals at Ravens, Thursday Night Football. That is going to be a great game, and we'll see how that goes, because the Bengals look like the hottest team in the NFL right now, to go along with the Ravens. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that game plays out when these two teams meet. Then you go to the AFC South. The Jags are 6-2. They'll be playing the 49ers this week at home. So we'll see what happens if the 49ers get right. I think Deebo Samuel is coming back this week, so that's big for them. And obviously, they made the move at the deadline, getting Chase Young from the Commanders. So, we'll see what the 49ers do. Can they get back on the right track against the Jags? But Jags are 6-2. To me, they should win the division. You got the Texans at 4-4, Colts 4-5, Titans 3-5. Yeah, this is the Jags division to lose. But you know what? The Texans, we talked about it yesterday, they can make the playoffs, possibly. And then in the AFC West, you got the Chiefs are 2.5 games up on the Chargers, who are 4-4. The Raiders are 4-5. Broncos are 3-5. We don't really have to go over that. We know. Chiefs should win that division. Chiefs are going to win that division. All right, then we go to the NFC side of things. So we'll do the NFC divisions, and then we'll go to the wild card. So the Eagles 8-1, best record in the NFL right now. They're on a bye, but coming out of the bye, we talked about this. At Arrowhead against the Chiefs, against Buffalo at home, versus the 49ers at home. Yeah, those are going to be 3 tough games. So we'll see how they deal with that. I see a loss in there, at least one, but might be like the game on the road against Kansas City. But we'll see. And then you got Dallas at 5-3, Washington 4-5, Giants 2-7. You want to talk about who has like the worst point differential in the NFL? I'm not going to do the math off the top of my head, but nope, the Panthers I think might have the worst one. But I think the Giants probably will. Giants will probably finish off the year with the worst point differential in the NFL. But yeah, Eagles, especially after that win against Dallas, they should win this division. I think it's unless they collapse, which I don't see happening, or injuries. The Eagles, they should walk away with this division. Dallas is going to get a wild card spot. Commanders are 4-5. They're still hanging around, so we'll see. Then you go to the NFC North. Vikings are a 1.5 games back of the Lions. Can they catch up to the Lions? Probably not. Lions are 6-2 right now. They're going to win that division. Vikings, right now they got a wild card spot, and I think they get it. And Justin Jefferson is designated to return. He's taken off IR, so we'll see if he plays this week. So that's big. We'll see what happens. Packers 3-5, Bears 2-7. They play tonight, obviously. And then you got the NFC South, our favorite division. Who is going to win that division? I have no idea. Right now, you got the Saints. Falcons are 4-5. Saints 5-4. Bucks 3-5. Right now the Saints are in the. I don't want to say in the driver. Well, yeah, they're in the driver's seat, but they might not be in it for long. Who knows? I really have no idea. But we'll see. And then you got the NFC West. So the Niners are now back in first place because of Seattle's loss to the Ravens. So we'll see what happens after this week. Seattle plays the Commanders. 49ers play the Jags, which I just talked about. All right, so then we go to the wild card. So right now, in terms of seeding, Ravens and the Chiefs have the top 2 spots. In the NFC, you got the Eagles and the Lions. They got the top 2 spots in their respective conferences. Wild cards, the AFC North controls every spot in the wild card. You got the Bills, who are a half game back. Texans are a game back. Chargers a game back. Jets a game back. Colts a game and a half. Raiders a game and a half. Titans 2. Broncos 2. Patriots 3.5. So I'm not going to completely. I'm kind of just leaving the Patriots out because but as of right now, Broncos and Titans are 2 games back. I mean, I don't think they're going to make it, but they're both 3-5. The Broncos at one point looked like they were going to have the worst record in football, or one of the worst records, but now they're 3-5, and now they're playing Buffalo, who hasn't been playing that good. So who knows? It's going to be really tough with these wild cards, because I just don't see the Bills missing the playoffs. And I feel like they make it over either the Browns or the Steelers. You still got the Chargers there, Texans. I mean, it's tough. Because there are teams you look at, like the Jets, like they can make it because of their defense. But I don't know. It's really tough. It's very, very competitive. Very competitive. So we'll go to the NFC now. So you got, I already talked about it. Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Saints. So they got the top 4 spots. Then in the wild cards, you got the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Vikings. And a game and a half back, you got the Commanders, the Falcons. Buccaneers are 2 games back. Packers are 2 games back. That's really what it looks like at the moment. Seattle and Dallas, I think, get in. But that last wild card spot, we'll see. Josh Dobbs played well in relief the other day against the Falcons. So, I don't know. I think I think right now the Vikings get that spot. So I think really when you look at like the Falcons and the Bucks, their best chance to make the playoffs is winning the division. So, and even though the Bucks have the tiebreaker over the Vikings because they beat them the first game of the year, but now they've lost 4 in a row. You got the Packers. They're 3-5, but I really don't think they're going to make it as much as I thought they could have been a wild card team earlier in the season because Jordan Love was playing well. Now I don't know what happened. He's regressed, so I don't know. We'll see. But that's the current standings right now. So with that, we are going to take now our first break of the show. And then when we come back, we will discuss the Patriots. We'll discuss the recent Bill Belichick rumors. And is it possible he could get fired after Sunday's game against the Colts? We'll see. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.